Hello everyone, this is Satish here. We are live right now. We are in house series in Vedic Astrology. Until yesterday, we discussed about ninth house in Vedic Astrology. I think yesterday was ninth house, and today the topic is all about significance of 10th house in Vedic Astrology. 10th house is very important house because 10th house represents the means of livelihood. 10th house represents career. 10th house represents profession. 10th house represents the kind of business that you take up. 10th house represents efforts, rewards through efforts. 10th house represents fame and reputation. 10th house represents social status. 10th house represents your recognition through your merits. What are the merits and rewards and accolades that you undergo? 10th house represents teachers. 10th house represents the comfortness in your career. 10th house represents the kind of bosses that you encounter, the kind of teachers that you encounter. 10th house represents the power. 10th house represents authority. 10th house represents the commanding nature. I mean, command towards command towards somebody. Okay, all these kind of things deals by 10th house. And 10th house deals with honor. 10th house deals with reputation. 10th house deals with responsibilities. Okay, so 10th house is very important because it talks about your profession. Okay, and depending upon the dignity of the planet sitting, depending upon the strength of your planet sitting, are responsible for your 10th house or aspecting your 10th house, your profession differs ideally. Okay, let's see one by one depending upon the placement of the planet that is sitting or placement of the planet that is responsible for your 10th house. Let's see what will be the analysis and the kind of professions that is suitable for you. Okay, so I'll be talking about the good and bad of that planet as well. What happens when it is strong, what happens when it is weak, and all that. Okay, I'm sorry. So let's say Sun is acting as Lord of your 10th house, or Sun is aspecting your 10th house, or Sun is actually placed in your 10th house. So for these people, ideally, the father's profession will be very beneficial. Most importantly, these guys will be working under somebody compared to the business, and the Sun represents the government. So these guys will take up a lot of government related jobs like IAS, IPS, IES. Okay, all kind of government related professions these guys will get into, and most importantly, these guys will be successful in terms of the government related projects. And this placement is really good for politics as well because Sun represents politics. Sun represents father's profession. So the support from father is really tremendous. Father, in fact, really push for the growth and development of this person. So sun placement really works very well, and also these guys will gain a great power and authority for their rewards that these guys are doing, but that will not be so much satisfactory. Whatever the social status that these guys receive, they will not be satisfied because sun is all about grabbing the things similar like Mars, right? So these people will literally fight for power and authority, and but especially in the sun Mahadasha, Antradasha, this will be fulfilled. But if sun is afflicted, then there will not be satisfaction in their career or in terms of stability of their career. Okay, so sun represents the government. Sun represents the IAS and political personalities and all that, and sun represents the social service as well. So all the very good political personalities will be seen from this placement too. Okay, so sun really works for the leadership roles as well. If at all you're working into the managerial roles or team lead roles or vice president or above that, I think sun placement is really good for your successful career. Okay, sun is all about power and authority. So sun placement is really good, and but in terms of getting the satisfaction, these guys will have to work little more harder. Okay, and let's say if moon is placed in your 10th house, or moon is aspecting your 10th house, or moon is acting as a lord of your 10th house, then this person will be very good suitable for travel industry, transport industry, something to serve the customers, that is hotel industry, as well as hospitality industry, and milk related, the liquid based businesses, and also something like food items, as I mentioned, restaurant, milk products, news readers, and most importantly, these guys jobs involves traveling, like they'll be moving from one city to other city, like imports and exports. All those businesses will be suitable, and also dairy related products, and also fruit juices, dry cleaning. liquids and chemicals, grocery shops, edible oils, all water related kind of professions, and also story writing, content writing. So for all these kind of things wherein which they require a pleasant mind, this professions will be literally suitable for this person. Moon placement is also very good, but if moon is afflicted by Saturn or Rahu or Ketu, then these guys will undergo a lot of misunderstandings, conflicts with their bosses, especially during the moon planetary period when moon is actually ruling their life at that point of time. Then these guys undergo a little bit of blames. And also for these people, especially if moon is acting as a lord of your 10th house, or moon is aspecting your 10th house, or moon is placed in your 10th house, what I have seen is they will be changing the professions very often actually. For example, for 5 years they'll be in certain domain, and for next 5 years they'll be in certain other domain. So there'll be a lot of shifts in their profession, and also it involves a lot of traveling. If the lord of your 10th house moon is placed in your 12th house, then these guys excel well in foreign countries, because 12th house represents foreign settlements. So these guys will have the connections with foreign people, and they'll be getting a hell lot of opportunities to travel to on site and all that. Even the same thing with the ninth house as well. If 10th lord is staying in ninth house, 10th lord of the moon is staying in the ninth house, then these guys also travel to foreign countries and they excel really well there. Okay, and that's about moon. Like let's say if Mars is placed in your 10th house, or Mars is aspecting your 10th house, or Mars is placed in your 10th house, then this person will be really good for technology, programming, mining, engineering services, and also for fire related, defense, all kind of professions where it involves a courage and bravery, like defense related, IAS, IPS, technical, missionary, I have mentioned already, mineral industry, surgeons, dentists, okay? Because Mars is all about blood, right? So, dentist, surgeons, and all, this person becomes a great surgeon actually. So, Mars placement is really good, but only thing is if Mars is afflicted with Saturn, then this person will be losing the courage and power and authority at that point of time, especially during the Mars period. And also there'll be a little bit of professional harassment with their bosses, because if Mars is afflicted, then the courage levels will totally go down and people start dominating this person. So especially in the Mars planetary period, they'll face this kind of issues. Okay, so Mars should be positive. If Mars is positive, then their career will be really solid without any issues. If Mars is really afflicted, then there are issues in the career. Okay, any planet for that matter, it should not be afflicted with Saturn, Rahu, and Ketu. If Saturn, Rahu, or Ketu are watching your 10th house, or 10th, or aspect into your 10th lord, then there'll be issues with the kind of bossism. Bosses try to command you, bosses try to expect too much from you, or they'll be having very higher expectations, or they won't be much reward for your efforts that you're putting and all that. All those things will be arise if Mars is been afflicted with Saturn, especially because Mars and Saturn are not friends to each other. Okay, so I can see is a couple of them joined. Hi Diksha, thanks for joining. Hi Srijan. Srijan, nice to see you here. Happy Teachers Day, by the way. Really awesome to see you here. Hi Tej Pratap. Hi Virendra, thanks for joining. Hi Praveen. Okay, all right. So we are in Mars, right? So Mars is completed. So let's say Mercury. If Mercury is acting as a lord of your 10th house, or Mercury is acting as Mercury is placed in your 10th house, or Mercury is aspecting your 10th house. Mercury represents the intellect. Mercury represents the business. Okay, these people excel very well in the business, provided Mercury should not be afflicted with Rahu, Ketu, and Saturn again. Okay, Saturn is okay because Saturn is neutral for Mercury, but especially with Rahu Ketu, it should not be afflicted. Otherwise, there are issues in terms of getting the stability with regards to the career and also getting the business profits. And this placement really works for the education industry, like coaching industry, advisory. Okay, and also Mercury represents the communication, like anything related to media and all that. This professions really excel well, and also accounting, commerce, business, publishing, and public transport, brokerage, astrology, psychology, gardening, sports related. So all these kind of professions really works well for Mercury, for the Mercury placement in the 10th house. Okay, but Mercury should not be afflicted with Saturn. provided if Mercury is not afflicted with Saturn, the kind of professions which I have read till now, these professions really excel very well. Mercury is all about wisdom, knowledge, similar like Jupiter. So anything related to education, advisory, coaching, counseling, consulting, that kind of businesses really works so well. Okay. And also professions also will be involved with some kind of business aspect, like these guys gets into the management career and they excel really well because Mercury is all about management, business management. Okay. Training, interviewing skills, interview coach, okay, resume builders. So all these guys come emerge from this placement. Okay. And let's say if Jupiter is acting as lord of your 10th house, or Jupiter is placed in your 10th house, or Jupiter is aspecting your 10th house. Jupiter is all about power, authority, similar like Sun. So these guys excel well in the management, business management again, education industry again. But these guys gets into very higher positions, like they'll be, acting as a principals for the schools, and acting as a, the chairmans, community members for spiritual organizations, because Jupiter is again a spiritual planet as well. So these people will be related to religion as well. They'll be acting as leaders of the religious communities. And in terms of the profession, these guys will get into financial industry and also technical industry also. Okay. And something related to the professions of advisory board. For example, these guys gets into roles like director roles, leading the organizations, like becoming their own boss. And Jupiter is a karaka for wealth. These guys will make a hell lot of money out of their efforts. So 10th house Jupiter is really strong because Jupiter is all about optimism. Jupiter is all about giving the reward for their efforts. And 10th house also talks about reward for the efforts that these guys are putting. And 10th house talks about reputation, as I discussed. And Jupiter placement really provides them the solid career. Irrespective of any career they'll take up, these guys will be very successful. These guys will get into the leadership roles for sure. In fact, before the age of 30, itself. And Saturn should not be aspecting the 10th house. If Saturn is aspecting to the Jupiter, that will be delayed. It will happen after age of 35 if Saturn is aspecting, because Saturn creates all the delays and denials. Okay. So Jupiter is really good. And also Sage Parashara says this is the planet which literally keeps him into the powerful positions. Okay. And Sage Parashara says that during the especially Jupiter planetary period, these guys will be gets into the greater heights in their career, like promotions of promotions. These guys will be keep getting. Actually, Jupiter placement is really good. In fact, this is the placement which Jupiter likes to stay, because Jupiter is all about power, authority, okay, providing the mentorship, acquiring the leadership roles. And 10th house is all about leadership, career, profession, business, okay, your means of livelihood. And Jupiter placement is really good here, okay, without any doubt. And let's say Venus is acting as a lord of your 10th house, or Venus is aspecting your 10th house, or Venus is placed in your 10th house, then this person really works well for financial industry, banking, finance, and performing arts, because Venus is all about luxuries, arts, music, and all that. So these people becomes a great musicians as well. And comforts related, any profession related to comforts, okay. And these guys in fact gets a very comfortable profession. They will not feel any kind of stress. It will be like a very fun loving kind of professions. Okay, what are the profession which they take up, they just love with passion. And the money keeps flowing for them, because Venus is the karaka for money. Venus is the karaka for pleasures, luxuries, celebrations, gadgets, cars, vehicles. Venus is the karaka for vehicles as well. Okay, these guys will get a very good vehicles as well. And entertainment industry as well, because Venus is all about fun, right? It's not about seriousness like Mars, Saturn, and Sun. Venus is a fun-loving planet. These guys expect a lot of freedom in the career environment. These guys doesn't like to get in any kind of bossism. These guys doesn't like to get commands from anybody. These guys like to work very free. A lot of freelancers emerge from this placement, and a lot of business entrepreneurs who are working solely with being their own boss. Okay, because Venus expect all the comfortness in the profession, and the beauty related as well, because Venus is all about beautification, and modeling, fashion designing, interior designers. Okay, all these kind of professions really suits for the person having strong Venus in the 10th house. And also industry related to imports and exports as well. Again, same like moon is a benefic planet, Venus is a benefic planet, Jupiter is a benefic planet. So benefic planets really works in the imports and exports business as well. Clothing, because clothes represents Venus again. Okay, so that professions really works, and these people really takes up the professional matters in a very well organized way. It's not me telling, Sage Parashara is saying. It indicates the comforts and benefits in the profession. Professional benefits will be tremendous. If it is the if the bosses are female, these guys, if the bosses are female for this person, they'll be doing a lot of favor to this guy. Okay, in fact, they'll become what you say, as a strong push for this person to become successful, because Venus represents females. Females represents females in the male birth chart. Okay, and similar way for female, in the female birth chart, Jupiter represents the male. Okay, Jupiter represents the husband, in fact. Okay, let's say if Saturn is ruling your 10th house, irrespective of any career that you take up, it will come, the stability in your career comes after the age of 35. You'll be struggling to stabilize in your career until the age of 35 if Saturn is watching, because Saturn is all about delays, Daniels, and all that, as I mentioned to you. It makes you to work literally hard to gain the profession that you like, that you want to get into. You'll be keep striving, and efforts will be coming. The victory will be there for sure, because Saturn guarantees you the success, but that comes only after the age of 35. You should be doing enough hard work, because Saturn is all about oozing out the sweat out of it. You guys have to literally work hard, and once the success is attained, that will be very consistent. It will be stabilized. None of the planet can able to remove if the blessings were being done by Saturn. Okay, any kind of politics or any calamities happens, but these guys will have the career stability only after the age of 35. Praveen is saying something which bringing me a smile in my face. Met you in ecom mastermind, didn't know about your astro knowledge. Great buddy, perfect. Thank you so much. Okay, so Saturn is all about, okay, Saturn is the planet of profession. Saturn is the planet of hard work. Saturn is the planet of delays, denials. Okay, and Saturn is the planet of disappointments also. The Saturn is all about commanding authority, bossism, and all that. So these guys will be getting a very tough bosses. Okay, tough bosses, but literally they'll teach you like anything, but you have to undergo that kind of hardship and all that, right? So you guys will not have that much of comfort that you see from the Venus and Jupiter placement in the 10th house. Okay, so that's what about Saturn. And let's say Rahu is acting as a lord of your 10th house, or Rahu is aspecting your 10th house. Okay, in fact, Rahu doesn't have the lordship. In fact, Rahu should be placed in your 10th house, or Rahu is acting as a aspecting your 10th house. Then foreign related jobs will be really suitable for you guys. These guys will be having a lot of connections from the foreign people, and in fact, the money will be coming from the globalization, from the global industries. Compared to the domestic, these guys will make a lot of money through international transactions. Okay, and also professional related to secret dealings, like detective agencies and all that. Rahu likes to get into that kind of professions, and chemical industries, intoxication related, poison related, it seems, and also medicines. Okay, all the medicines that you see is all about from the Rahu placement. And also again, imports and exports as well, vehicles as well, vehicles, and yeah, missionary engineering as well, missionary engineering, publishing industry, printing industry, acting, media. Okay, all this TV, cinema, everything is Rahu, graphic designing, because Rahu have the capability of amplifying the things. For example, Rahu, if at all Rahu placement is in any of area of your horoscope, that area of the matters will be amplified. It will be known to a lot of people. Let's say your what you say, your 11th house is being aspected by Rahu. Okay, what happens is your financial tenure will be known by a lot of people. Your financial stability will be known by a lot of people. You will be known for being rich. And similar way, 10th house professions, what happens if Rahu is aspecting or Rahu is looking into your house, that house is activated, amplified like anything. So a lot of people will be knowing about your profession, more than you knowing. A lot of people will be knowing a lot about you. So that kind of image you'll be getting it uh, because of Rahu's placement. Rahu placement is also very good. If he's not afflicted by Saturn, then this person will be achieving the great leadership roles, and getting profits from the foreign countries, foreign connections, and the especially from the global industries, profits are really seen irrespective of any business that you take up. Okay, and also professions which I mentioned also will be very successful for this person. Let's say if Ketu is aspecting your 10th house, Ketu is acting as a lot of Ketu is placed in your 10th house, or Ketu is acting aspecting your 10th house. So this person Ketu is all about spirituality, enlightenment, and also surgeons, dentists. Okay, these people emerge as a great astrologers, psychologists, counselors, medical professionals, medical representatives. Medical profession is seen from Ketu because Ketu have the capability of thinking out of the box. Okay, he is very clever than Rahu actually. Rahu like to do the things with illusion sometimes because he doesn't use the brain, but whereas Ketu is can think out of the box like lawyers, judges, CBI, okay, all the police related professions, and especially law field and doctor field, and also healing, meditation, yoga, all the spiritual related kind of things will be seen from Ketu placement. Okay, Ketu should not be afflicted with Saturn again, otherwise the in these professions these guys will not become successful. That's what it's always the positive planet and also the afflicted planet. Positive planet should not be afflicted with the negative planet. For Ketu, Saturn is the negative, so Saturn affliction should not be there on upon Ketu. Okay, so then this person will be getting a solid profession in terms of law, medical, astrology, and also surgical related procedures. Okay, and also let I want to read out some of the professions related to Ketu. Okay, service to humanity, like these people like to do a lot of surveys which may include the spiritual, occult sciences, religion, healing, medical, as I mentioned to you, law field, chemicals, okay, pharmaceutical, and also graphic designing comes here as well, and also transportation industry, printing and publishing, same like Rahu as well. So these professions excel very well for Ketu. And also these guys becomes the great writers because the writers are very creative in nature in terms of attracting the audience and all that. So these people surely writes a lot of books and all that. And these people are great, highly educated because planets which gives a very good solid education is Jupiter, Mercury, and Ketu. Okay, moon makes you to think what you say moon makes you to think logically and analytically, but whereas Mars, Jupiter, Mercury, these planets makes the person to get into the action. Okay, when you have certain abilities you have to put enforce into the action, right? Then only you are successful. That's what Jupiter, Venus, and Ketu does. Okay, Rahu ideally provides you the sudden transformation in you. For example, let's say you are not so educated during your school time, and Rahu is very positive for you. When during the Rahu Mahadasha, then this person will be achieving the great name, fame, and reputation. In fact, we have seen across multiple personalities who were like pauper before during the childhood. They doesn't have proper education, but they emerge into the global recognition. That happens because of Rahu. Rahu's energy is really required for us because to get the global recognition, Rahu should be stronger in your horoscope. He should be doing some kind of role towards your profession or to the business to take you to the enormous heights. And also Karakas for wealth, as I mentioned to you, always Jupiter and Venus are Karakas for wealth. So these guys will make a lot of, if at all Jupiter and Venus are very strong in your horoscope, the wealth gains are a lot actually. You don't need to, without any struggle, the wealth keep coming from your kind of profession that you take up or kind of business that you take up. Okay. This is just a short bite about different professions related to different planets. So ideally, to summarize everything, 10th house is all about career, profession, business, reputation, roles and responsibilities, power, authority. Okay, and yeah, 10th house talks about influence, teachers, the kind of bosses that you meet, merits. Okay, the guys who have just joined, please go through the full video. In fact, the time of introduction of this video I would have spoke about what are the significators of 10th house before starting up with each planet. And also check your reports on which planet is aspecting your 10th house, which planet is situating in your 10th house, which planet is acting as a lord of your 10th house. Okay, if at all 3 or 4 planets is looking into your 10th house, so obviously, what are the professions which I have mentioned to you right now? All those professions will be suitable for you. Provided Rahu and Ketu influence should not be there on those planets. Then only. Rahu Ketu influence should not be there aspecting your planets. For example, let's say Jupiter is acting as a lord of your 10th house, or placed in your 10th house, and Rahu is watching your Jupiter, then positivity will be converted into a negativity. That's what happens. Okay, so there should not be afflictions. Planets should not be afflicted. Prakash saying something. Sir, how are you? Satish is really good at this. Yeah. Thank you so much, Prakash. Nice to see you here. I want you to go through the replay actually. Prakash, you just joined recently. I want you to go through, and also I provided you the report, right? Just to cross check about your the kind of professions it is suitable for you. And yeah, if at all, let's say you guys are into a certain profession and it is not giving a proper benefits to you, or it's not giving you any kind of meritorious deeds for you or any kind of profitable, make sure that you guys do the remedy for the planet that is placed in your 10th house, or acting as a lord of your 10th house, or aspecting to your 10th house. You need to find out which are the planets, and you guys need to do the remedies for those planets to have a successful career, and also for successful reputation, fame, and everything. Okay, so 10th house is very important because it is a means of livelihood. Okay, it is means of livelihood. The kind of gains that we see, we'll be talking about tomorrow with the 11th house. 11th house is all about financial gains. 11th house is all about relationship with father, hopes and wishes, friends with influential people, friendship with the influential people, networking circles. Okay, 11th house talks about incoming gains, incoming flow of cash, financial gains. Second house, fifth house, 11th house talks about wealth. Third house, seventh house, 10th house talks about social status, business. Second house also for business, 11th house also. If at all you want to see how is the financial gains for this person through business, I have to analyze your second house and 11th house as well. If you ask me what kind of profession that I'm suitable for, I'll be comfortable with, or I'll be successful with, then I have to examine your 10th house. And if you ask me about the business, I have to examine second house, third house, seventh house, 10th house, and 11th house. Because second house of financial savings, you should be having certain funding to start your business. And third house talks about communication, networking, friends, short distance travel. Seventh house talks about partnership. Okay. And 10th house talks about the business again. The kind of businesses that you take up, the kind of people that you meet can be seen from the 10th house. Okay. So go through my replays. Actually, I would have spoke a lot in the 7th house as well about the business, and also third house about the communication, networking circles and all that. So when I do the consultation for anybody, I'll be seeing the overall picture of your 12 compartments, that is 12 houses in your birth chart, because each house talks about certain thing or event in your life. So we have to analyze thoroughly whole birth chart to come into the conclusion, and also find out which planetary period you are undergoing. Are you undergoing the 16 years period of Jupiter? Are you undergoing a 20 years period of Saturn? Are you undergoing seven years period of Ketu? So, and also analyze that planet, what it is doing, which houses is being occupied, which are the houses got activated. In fact, you will be doing that kind of related events only. Let's say let's say your 10th house got activated. Okay, if your 10th house got activated, what will happen? You'll be focusing a lot on your career. You'll be focusing upon increasing your social status. You'll be focusing in terms of increasing your skills to upgrade yourself in the profession. Okay, so all those things. So anyhow, that's it from my side. I think I spoke nearly for 25 minutes now. So thank you so much for joining, guys. If at all you guys have any questions, put it in the comment box. I love to answer for that. If you guys need my one-on-one consultation, I'm always around. You can book from the link that is mentioned in the announcement section. And bye for now. Please join tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll be talking about 11th house. 11th house is all about financial gains, networking circles, network with the influential people, hopes and wishes, relationship with father. It's very important. Okay, bye for now.